Warjacks here to play. Mini Wargaming's Beat Matt Batrep.
Hey, this is Matthew from MiniWargaming.com, and welcome to another Beat Matt Batrep. Today, we are going to be playing a game of Warmachine. Not Warmachine and Hordes, but Warmachine. It's going to be Khador versus Cygnar. Here we have Tom from the forums has challenged me to a game. It's going to be 35 points. If this is the first time you've ever watched a Beat Matt Batrep, let me quickly explain how it works. First off, you can go onto the Mini Wargaming forums and challenge me to a game of 40k, fantasy, Warmachine, or whatever else we happen to play. If you win, you get a $25 gift certificate to the Mini Wargaming online store. Let's jump right into it and take a look at the armies and then the scenario that we will be playing today.
We're going to start off by looking at Tom's Cygnar. Now he's decided to field a 35-point army that is being led by Major Victoria Haley. So this is not a theme list, there's actually a couple mercenaries in there. And so we've got Haley right here. Her feat is that she basically stops you from doing either a movement or an action if you're in her control. She's got 2 heavy warjacks with her. She's got the Defender, which was already seen, and the Centurion right here. The Centurion has a nice ability to stop you from charging it, and the Defender has a really, really heavy weapon. We've got the Black 13th Gun Mage Strike Team here. He's got a Journeyman Warcaster to support his caster. And here is normally a mercenary group. This is Silena, Raphael, and Nis Hunters, or something like that. But because he's bringing Captain Jonas Murdoch as an attachment, it actually turns them into a Cygnar unit. So if any spells that only affect Cygnar will affect them as well. And then right here we have the Mage Hunter, because she's awesome. Because as a Mage Hunter, she's able to go over and disrupt Warjacks and also Warcasters and stop them from using their focus. On my side, I've decided to go for as heavy metal as Khador possibly can bring. Now, I'm bringing back Karchev to try a new tactic, or not a new tactic overall, but something new to me. So we've got Karchev the Terrible, and he is leading 4 heavy warjacks. We've got 2 Juggernauts, which are 7-point jacks. They're awesome. They're just a good utility jack that can deal a lot of damage. And we've got a Kodiak who can run without focus, and who's just good at venting steam and providing cover. And we've got the Behemoth, a 13-point character jack who's armor piercing, can fire his weapons even while he's in melee, and all sorts of other fun stuff. Backing this up is a group of battle mechanics who will be ready to repair any jacks that get hurt, including Karchev himself. And we've got a Colden Lord. This is a Grey Lord Turnian, and he's going to proxy in for a Colden Lord to provide a little bit of extra focus. The scenario is going to be simple. I actually don't remember the name of the scenario, but it's the one where you have an 8-inch area in the middle that goes across the entire board, and starting in the 3rd turn, if you are in it and your opponent is not, then you win. Or a caster kill, whatever happens first. This one typically ends in a caster kill because basically everybody meets the middle and dukes it out. So let's take a look at the deployment. We rolled off and he gets first turn, so he's going to deploy first. And he does. Obviously, it's just a 35-point game, which is, I find 35 points is really nice because the games can be done quickly, and it's enough to bring in a good force. 50 points is fun as well. The games typically take a little longer, although if both players really know their army, you can still play a 50-point game in about an hour to 2. Depending on the army, if you're a lot of units like what I've been bringing in my past Warmachine games, then it does take longer to play the games. And so that's why I wanted to switch it up, just bring all jacks. And my strategy, as you're going to see by my deployment, is to tow up my jacks and just throw them into combat and shooting. And one thing I didn't really realize that I read on a forum, I think it was the Privateer Press forums, is that Karchev's tow ability basically lets him move up, and any jacks that he passes within 2 inches of, up to 3 of them, he can then place in his back arc in base-to-base contact with him, and then they can activate as normal. But what I didn't really think of is that when he moves up, he can turn around, so his back arc is in front, or, it's still the back, but it allows the jacks to go even further. So you're going to see me doing that. I'm going to try to surprise him by how fast I am. Now, I did warn him of this, because I don't like having an ability like that and the opponent not really knowing about it. So he has first turn. He's way out of range to do much, so he's just going to be advancing, giving a bit of focus to each of his guys, and then advancing everything. So he gives a couple focus to each of his jacks, and then he runs and activates all his other stuff. He only walks with the one, then he uses the other focus to activate a shield, which basically you cannot charge him while his shield is activated. And then he moves all his, the one group there, the hunters, Silena and her 9 hunters, into the forest, where they then have concealment, and I think they might even have stealth. Doesn't really matter, I don't have much shooting, but I do have a bit. His Journeyman Warcaster goes up, and then his Caster goes up, casts a couple spells, but that's really all that happens in Cygnar turn 1. Warmachine turn 1 is usually like that. It's time for me to see if this will work, so I drop 3 focus on my Behemoth, because he's going to be shooting. And then I spend 2 focus to use Tow, and then I take 2 inches of extra movement rather than another focus. That's Karchev's ability. And then he turns around just like that. And I watch what I do with my 3 jacks. They have to be placed within his back arc, and they have to be base to base. And so, boom, those jacks just moved up 12 inches, and now the Behemoth is in firing range. And he's going to boost it to try to get a direct hit, but unfortunately he still rolls really low. But it does scatter and hit 4 of them, so I boost the attack, the one that I care about, and I roll 2 2s and a 1, unfortunately not doing any damage to the Mage Hunter. Do manage to kill one of the Hunters, and do 4 out of 5 damage. So that was disappointing, he should have done more damage. The second roll rolls double 1, so it scatters, hits the Jack, which I boost, and I don't do enough damage because the Jack has enough armor. I move up my Juggernauts, and I hope that the way I'm putting them is blocking line of sight to Karchev, because that's obviously important. Then I'm just going to run up my Mechanics and my Colden Lord and get them ready to repair, which is what they're going to have to do because I'm going to obviously take some fire from everything. So it seems like a pretty sound strategy. Unfortunately, the Behemoth didn't do enough damage there, but it was kind of fun to be able to actually move my Jacks really far. So you can see that I'm in position here. Now the big disadvantage I have is that Karchev's back is turned, so obviously everybody's going to get +2 when they're shooting at him, if they can see him. But he is pretty healthy, and he's got all these Jacks blocking the way, so hopefully he will be able to survive. So you're going to have to stay tuned for round 2, but I want you to go ahead and post a comment right now, based on the positioning and the army composition, who you think is going to win, because it's always interesting to see what you think, and then what's actually going to happen. So stay tuned for round 2, which will be in the next video.
Visit miniwargaming.com to see our videos 1 month early.